Hey everyone, my name is Alina. I am here at the amazing, beautiful Upaya Retreat Center, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Get Your Shit Together retreat. I'm so lucky and grateful to have been able to go to the last one last month in January. It's only been 3 weeks, and I have already seen immense change. My parents tell me almost every day how much I've changed for the better. I am manifesting my dream life. I'm becoming the person who I've always wanted to be, but always been too scared to, or put excuses. It's amazing, to say the least. It is amazing. It is the one thing that if I could share with everyone, I would share this. It was hosted by the amazing Amy Joy. She is my beautiful friend and mentor, and I am so immensely grateful for her, for teaching me all of this, for giving me all the tools, the new tools in my toolbox. It is all about oneness and growth, personal growth, spiritual growth, and about manifesting the life that you want, becoming the person you want to be. So yeah, this is something that is interesting to you. It is here at Upaya. There's amazing food. 7 people who were complete strangers and turned them into a family who adores each other in 6 days. Amazing. I talk to those people every day. I have so much love for them because we grew together and we learned together. So if this is something that you would like to do, if this is something that's calling you, please go. It will change your life. I know it has changed mine, and everyone who came has changed forever.
Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. So grateful to have you here with us today. It is a life hack full show as always. Congratulations on your abundance. I want you to take a look around right now and just notice how abundant you truly, truly are. We are trained and programmed to not see our abundance. We're trained to see all the lack, and it's simply not true. We are incredibly abundant. I am feeling especially abundant today. I just came back from Miami, from the field of awakening with my amazing, wonderful spiritual gurus, spiritual teachers. That's another word for saying teacher, from India. I have now spent, probably over 2 months in their presence, and they are the highest vibrational beings I have ever met. And to be in their presence and to be learning from them has been one of the greatest joys and the most profound thing I've ever done for myself and for the planet, because when we change our vibration, we change our outer world, and that impacts the people around us as well. So grateful. And what we're going to do now in a minute for Change Your State Elevate is we're going to do a special breathing technique that I am grateful to know. So we're going to do that. But stay tuned to the end. We have mantra magic and meditation moment. And super excited to have Annie Lalla on the show today. She is an amazing human. She's making a difference everywhere she goes. She's a relationship coach, and she is fun, super fun. So excited to pick her brains about true love, how to make it work and thrive. We don't want it just to work, right? We want it to thrive. So we're going to hear from her today. Super excited. All right, so you know what time it is. It's time to change your state, elevate. All right, so we're going to learn how to breathe better. I'm assuming you're breathing shallow like most of the world. As babies, we know how to breathe deep. If you watch a baby sleeping, their chest and their belly pops out and they get full breaths, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, we stop doing that. So I want you to all just take a minute wherever you are, stop what you're doing safely, and take a deep breath in. And what you're going to do is you're going to set the intention to loosen your belly, relax your belly. Us ladies, we like to suck everything in and we have a lot of tension in our belly. And right now is not the time for that. Right now is loosen the belly, set the intention to make your belly a little wobbly, and then take a deep breath in, and you're going to pretend like you're filling the bottom of your lungs first, like the water. I know this is like oxymoron, but pretend like you're breathing air in like it's water into the bottom of the lungs first. So breathe in and let your belly pop out as you do that. I know it's kind of hard. You can't see my belly right here, but trust me, it's coming out. So ready, breathe in and let it pop out, and breathe in as much as you can. I can't do that and talk. So just breathe in and then hold it just for a minute, and then exhale. And when you exhale, bring your belly in and pull your belly button into the back of your spine, so to speak. So pull it in and then inhale again. Let the belly pop out. Big breath, big breath. Hold for a second and then exhale through the nose and pull in your belly button into the back of your spine. Feel that full breath. All right, let's do it again. Breathe in, let your belly pop out. And hold, and then exhale through your nose and pull in your belly button into the back of your spine and let all the air out. And that way you're getting any stale air out, and the feelers are in the bottom of your lungs, guys. So that's where you want to breathe. One of the fastest ways to change your state is to breathe, because a lot of times we're breathing shallow and the body thinks that we're actually dying, because without oxygen, we will die. And so you take your body out of fight or flight or freeze when you breathe. So breathe in again, one big breath, let your belly pop out, loosen your belly, and then exhale out and pull in your belly button into the back of your spine. Amazing. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. All right. It is now time. We're going to get our shit together. So excited to have Annie Lalla on the show. She is a cutting-edge relationship coach. Annie maps the complexities of long-term romance, specializing in love, sex, and conflict resolution. Annie's collected a suite of practical tools in emotional technology that resolves unconscious relational patterns, attachment wounds, and recurrent conflict. Woo! She helps clients and students cultivate relational esteem while developing collaboration skills that go beyond power struggles, shame, or blame. Yay, because shame is at the bottom of the frequency scale. No, thank you. Annie is a fierce stand for true love and world class at supporting relationships to last a lifetime. Amazing. Put your hands together for the amazing Annie Lalla. Woo!
Hello, folks. Great to be here.
Welcome to the show. Oh my God. I love you so much. I've been following you for a while. This is our first time meeting. We have many, many mutual friends. I just spent time with Rudy Rodriguez and Shona in Miami together. Yeah, I know they both know you. And they have watched you in your relationship for years. And so you have a beautiful testimony, my love, to this working, what you're sharing. I did first see you. I did meet you briefly at the Abundance Amplifier event, I guess it was.
I did talk there.
You did, I know. And here's what I remember. and I'll never forget it. You shared about couples there's in a relationship, there is often one person that is the keeper of me, and the other person is likely the keeper of we.
Mhm.
And it made so much sense to me.
Yeah, we could
And
start
it helps me understand. So maybe you can explain to the audience a little bit
there.
what I'm talking about real fast. So go ahead. Yeah.
So basically, when it comes to true love, and let's be straight, I'm talking about the highest game two humans can play together. True love or bust. That's what I'm dedicated to. That's my devotional dharmic imperative, to believe in it, to stand for it, to map it for people. So when it comes to true love, I've noticed that you need equal parts of two sacred polarities in order for it to work. And it's not necessarily male female. The two sacred polarities that need to come together for a true love relationship to thrive is the sacred polarity of communion, connection, us together, wehood, the relationship as an entity, like the importance and sacredness of wehood and us. Okay. So that's the sacred polarity of we. And you need another sacred polarity to work. That's the sacred polarity of individuality, separateness, autonomy, sovereignty, me, I, selfing. So there's the we sacred polarity and the me sacred polarity. And you need both of these in equal measure to create a healthy long-term relationship. I want you to think of a relationship as a living, breathing entity. It's alive. It has two heads, the two people who are in love with each other. And this entity, when it breathes in together, communion, connection, us, we, and it breathes out autonomy, separation, individuation, me. And you need both. And usually there's one partner that is better at cultivating their individuality and their mehood, and one partner that's better at empathically attuning to other people's needs, tracking the we, tracking the us. And they come together because they're underdeveloped in their opposite skill. So I was a very we-centered person as a love coach. My husband was the most sophisticated, self-oriented me person I'd ever met. We came together to cross-train and teach each other in our underdeveloped skill. So I had to teach him. Basically, he taught me how to empathize with my own needs, my own wants, my own boundaries, not everybody else's, which was compulsive. And he taught me how to have a self and how to have a me and how to know my needs and wants and hold boundaries. And I taught him how to empathize with other people's needs, because he all knew all about his. He just didn't know what was going on with everyone else in the room. So I taught him how to empathize with others. He taught me how to empathize with myself. And over time, it's been 16 years now, I've become quite proficient at autonomy, sovereignty, selfhood. And he's become quite facile at attuning to other people's needs and wants, mine, my daughter's, other people in the space. So you always attract your favorite teacher. That's what it means to fall in love, is to hire your favorite teacher to teach you in the most important domain that you need to cultivate in order to be balanced and whole. And so that's what we did.
Oh my God. Yes. Can you say that last bit again?
We fall in love with someone who is our best teacher to school us, not in what we want to know, but in what we most need to know in order to become more balanced and whole, and to emancipate us from our small, unconscious, defended self and hold us to our highest, most conscious, most aligned with our values self. We literally hire our partner to carve us into greatness. And sometimes they don't do that with the best bedside manner. You know, we feel like they're criticizing and complaining, and they're trying to change us. Who feels like their partner's trying to change them? I want you to imagine that you are like a beautiful block of marble, and you've hired your partner to be Michelangelo. And Michelangelo said he saw David, the masterpiece, inside the marble, and he just carved away everything that wasn't David. And so you hire someone because of who they see you to be. They see your essence. They fall in love with who you are at your soul level, at your essence. And then you hire them to carve away everything that is not you, your defense mechanisms, your wound-driven strategies, your myopic unconscious patterns from childhood. Those aren't really you. Those aren't your essence. Those are like barnacles on a ship. right? Your partner's here to scrape off everything that's not you and reveal the magnum opus, the masterpiece of who you actually are, who they fell in love with. And so when they're trying to change you or they're asking you to be different, you have to ask yourself, is the request, is the complaint that they're asking for, if I took it on, would it make me a more extraordinary version of myself to me? And if the answer is yes, they're doing the job you hired them to do. They're literally holding you to your greatness. Now, could they do it with a little more finesse and grace and bedside manner? Perhaps so. And you can invite your partner to transform their complaints and grumbles and frustrations into inspirational invitations to your greatness. Absolutely. And that's what I teach my clients, how to shift their complaints from what I call WTF stance, which stands for what the fuck, right? With shame, blame, and make wrong, which is often how our grumbles come at us from family members. If you can alchemize that WTF stance into what I call MLK stance. MLK stands for Martin Luther King. And if anybody ever had a reason in the world to be, what the fuck? It was him, but he didn't. He took all of that and he turned it into an inspirational dream. I have a dream. He turned it into an invitation for an entire nation to rise into their highest self. So if he could do that, we can do it with every one of our grumbles. Can we take our frustrations and turn them into, hey, partner, I know that you love me and you want to be a contributing partner to the household. And I have a dream that when you come into the kitchen, you take your dishes and you put them directly into the dishwasher because that's what would add to the house.
I had a dream.
There's a way to do it that conserves their dignity and their self-esteem, has no shame and make wrong, and invites them into their greatness. And that's available anytime you have feedback for somebody, right? So we don't need
it doesn't have to be so hard.
It doesn't. But sometimes when you're triggered, you're triggered and you're angry and you're upset about something, and we come from our trigger, and in that moment of trigger, there's blame and shame and make wrong. And usually I've noticed when someone has any blame in their frustrated voice tone, it's because they have pain.
Yeah.
And they're uncomfortable or unwilling or unable to go and stand in their pain, feeling the anguish and the agony and the rawness and the tenderness, and opening their kimono and saying, partner, I'm in pain. Will you help me with this request? We don't stand in our pain. We keep our pain over there, and we're over here blaming and getting frustrated and angry. And we want our partner to somehow feel our pain, but we're not willing to feel it. So they can't even see our pain. They're busy defending against the shame, blame, and make wrong. And so there's work to do on both sides. Can you scrape off the shame and blame from your frustrations when you give feedback to someone? And if you're getting a complaint, can you see the complaint as a commitment to your greatness, as them carving you from being less conscious to more conscious? And you can even ask them, I can see you're upset right now, and I know there's a grumble and a frustration, but underneath, I know there must be a commitment to my greatness and my development. What is that commitment? And then you can get them to restate their frustration in a way that's more inspiring.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like the phrase, if I had it all my way, or if you had it all your way, which is, I had a dream. I love that. If my dream would be so good. It's so loving.
Making anyone wrong. It's just, here's my dream and I love you. What would it be even better is, I love you exactly as you are. And I have a dream that when you come into the kitchen, you put your dish right into the dishwasher. That would so delight me and make my day. And then you leave it for them like a buffet. You're not force feeding it. You're not shoving it into with their mouth. You put your request. Every complaint is a request in disguise. Always find the request inside your complaint and present it as a request, not a demand.
Right.
The difference between a request and a demand is very subtle. The difference between a request and a demand is a request, you ask for something and you've already coped upstream with the person's yes or no. Now you might have a preference. Like I have a preference that my husband drive me to the airport or something, but I've already coped with maybe he can't. So when I make my request, he can feel that he genuinely has the prerogative to say yes or no without shame, blame, make wrong, punishment, attack.
Yes.
A demand is when I say the same request, but I have not coped with a no. I have a death grip on an outcome. And if they don't say yes, I'm going to pout, throw a tantrum, get angry, withdraw love, punish. So
Oof.
that's the difference. It's not the words that you say, it's how you act afterwards that determines whether it's a request or demand. And since every complaint is a request in disguise, find the request and bring it with the choice point left to the other person, because people want their autonomy. They don't want to be told should, right?
Yeah.
Should is a could with shame smeared on top. So
Ooh. Say
this-
that again, please.
should is a could with shame smeared on top. SH for shame. So if I say you should go to the gym, or if I say, hey, Amy, you could go to the gym today, do you notice the difference? Don't tell me what to do. All that adolescent rebellion doesn't come up. And we can't really tell our partners what to do. All we can do is share the experience we've had without shaming, blaming, or making anyone wrong. And then invite and request, hey, I have an invitation for you. I have a request. Would you be willing to take this on? And they get to say yes or no. And you can keep making your requests. I have requests that have been going for 15 years with my husband, and I keep making them. And slowly but surely over time, some of them get answered.
I love because I know Evan. She's married to the amazing Evan Pagan, and yeah, he's an amazing coach of coaches, and he's all kinds of things. But you are clearly the master on this subject. I'm so grateful that you're here. Wow. Okay, so blame. Say that one phrase again, because I think that was huge.
And that should is a could with
Could.
shame. SH stands for the shame. That's what the beginning of the
Okay, should is a could with blame.
with shame smeared on top.
Shame with shame. Yes, it's so true. And what a difference when you approach someone with that open heart. Really, it's about an open heart, isn't it? Instead of all
Absolutely.
these expectations
And
and
the trick with the open heart,
assumptions, right?
the trick with the open heart is that most people think we mean open heart to others, and sometimes we get angry and scared and confused and we close our heart. You cannot open your heart to someone else any more than your heart is open to yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you're not attuned to what's happening in your nervous system and tracking the winces, the fears, the insecurities, the needs, the wants, that this little creature mammal that you have been allocated to shepherd in this world, there's nobody on the planet tracking your needs and wants in real time except your consciousness.
That's true.
And so when you open your heart to, oh, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Do I need a nap? What do I need right now? Do I need a hug? And to go take charge to go get that need met so that no one else has the burden of it. That to me is the indicating feature of adulthood.
Yeah.
To have true love, you actually need two adults to be autonomous and to be able to love on each other. And, you know, I've been studying adulthood for a while, and it's hard to define it, but I think adulthood is really coming to the understanding that there ain't nobody coming to save you ever, like ever.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, you go, oh shit, no one's coming to save me. I better figure out and learn how to create safety in my body, in my nervous system, without anyone else having to do anything. That is the key to adulthood. It's also the requirement to be a great parent. The moments that parent fails come into play is because their nervous system gets dysregulated. They don't know how to cope with the intense sensations happening, and they end up shuttering their anxiety, fear, or anger onto their child.
Yeah.
And in that moment, the child then has to cope with it. And, you know, that's where all the breaks in parent-child dynamics happen. So if you want to be a great parent someday, which true love is practice for, you have to learn how to start building technology and tools like you did at the beginning of this call to regulate and bring safety to your nervous system, which is a huge domain I've been mapping. And I'm happy to talk about self-regulation and triggers and what they are and what we can do, because I feel like that's the most important skill there is for a human being to learn to be a functioning adult, to be in love, and to be a great, successful parent. So,
well, let's talk about it then, because the subject is how to make love work and thrive. So the number one thing is learning how to deal with triggers.
Yeah. And, you know, a trigger, there's many different definitions, but the way I think of a trigger is that it's time travel. So when you are triggered, something happens and you get triggered. What happens in that moment is you look the same on the outside. You're still like a 30, 40, whatever, something person. And then on the inside, you time travel back to a younger age, usually under 10 years old. And
that's true.
You travel back to a younger age, 4, 5, 6 years old, where you first had the feeling that you're having right now in the trigger. And in that moment when you were young, 4 years old, in front of your kindergarten class, the teacher asked you a question and you didn't know the answer and you got embarrassed, okay? In that moment, the young nervous system of the child doesn't know how to cope with that overwhelm. And so it dissociates. It dissociates from the moment, from the body. And whenever we dissociate in a moment of trauma or terror or overwhelm, a bookmark goes into the book of our personal development.
Ooh,
and
well said.
the book closes on that bookmark, on that moment of shame or humiliation. And then every time for the rest of your life as an adult, in a boardroom, in an interview, on a date where you feel ashamed or humiliated, the book opens, and that moment of shame that never got integrated or processed when you were 6 years old or 4 years old comes up for integration.
Yeah.
And so when you're triggered, what happens is you go back in time to that moment where the bookmark was put in the book opens, and now there's a chance for healing, integration. And in that moment, you can either be an adult, close your eyes and attune to your nervous system and see the sensations arising, and finally have that feeling of shame go to completion. Every feeling is in a cycle, and it has to complete its cycle. And if you can allow the sensations to move through your body and not dissociate, you can integrate that shame. The bookmark comes out of the book, and you can close the book, and then that young self that had arrested development can now grow up to the present moment. And usually these things only happen in the context of a close friend or a therapist or a coach that can hold safe space for you to be safe enough to be with your sensations, tremble or sob them through, get integrated. Now, if a trigger is time travel back in time, most of the time we don't integrate the emotion. We get triggered, we go back, we feel the shame. We're now acting like a 6-year-old. So if we've triggered to time travel in the past, as a 6-year-old fighting with our partner or whatever, we only have access to 6-year-old files. Tantrum, stonewalling, get angry. Like, we don't have all that consciousness, new age, amazing stuff we learned on plant medicine or at Landmark or on the books we read, because that's over in our adult self that we've left. Yeah. The only thing to do when you've regressed in a trigger to a triggered state, younger version of yourself, is to find a way to time travel back to the present moment. And the only thing I've found that helps you time travel back to the present moment is being able to take a deep breath in, turn inward, attune to your physiology, and regulate your nervous system. Which sounds easy, but if you have tools to do that, when the shame comes up, you can actually be present in your body. Notice the sensations. Where in your body is the shame? How intense? What amount of that is yours? What's not yours? Can you let go of the enmeshment that you might have taken on of your parents' shame? And literally release that out of your body. And then whatever's left is yours to breathe through and integrate. And you can do that from your adult self. And the way you'll react to your partner when you're in the moment of shame in an argument will be different if you can self-regulate. But most people don't even realize in that moment that they've turned into a child, and they're actually using their romantic partner as an attachment figure to regulate them. I can only regulate if my partner gives me a hug or says it's okay or forgives me or gives me space. If you need someone else to do something to make you feel safe, then you're not adult. You're not in power. And so you can always leave a conversation. If something's overwhelming, you can always take a time out, leave the room, house, or learn to self-regulate in the moment. And some of us need to take space to regulate our nervous system.
And could you define self-regulate for the audience?
Yeah. So the word self-regulate basically means to create groundedness, safety, or calmness in your nervous system. So you can do that through breathing. You can do that through movement. You can do that through tapping, EMDR. There's like as many ways to self-regulate as
your body out.
As there are imaginations. Okay.
Yeah.
But most animals in the wild, when they are chased by a predator and they're all jacked up, they go into their burrow and they shutter it out. They have some way of releasing that tension. And tension comes in, stress comes in automatically and unconsciously. And relaxation or calmness has to come through consciousness. You have to consciously relax your nervous system. Know tools to bring safety into your body. And most adults actually don't know what to do when they're stressed out and scared and angry and overwhelmed or anxious.
Yeah. And defining adult, like what is an adult in your definition? Because I don't think we're really taught.
Well, I think an adult is someone who realizes that nobody's coming to save you. And so that
Right.
you have to create safety in your own nervous system by yourself.
Yes.
And once you realize that, you're like, oh shit, I don't know how to do that. And then you go, oh, I better go learn how to regulate my nervous system so that I can be a safe place for people I care about, like my partner and my future child. And it's not my job to regulate my partner's nervous system. But if I am regulated enough and I have the extra resource on hand, like a $5 to spot my friend who doesn't have enough to pay for their lunch, if I have it, then I can help support them.
Yeah.
Not if they feel entitled, and I'm not doing it out of obligation.
Yeah.
So the most romantic thing that you can bring to your partner in true love, there's nothing more romantic than this. And that is to know how to regulate your nervous system when you're scared, anxious, terrorized, rageful, and not put the burden of regulating your nervous system onto your partner.
Absolutely.
Which is what most people do when they're in a fight, right? Because we regress into a child and then we see our partner as our attachment figure. Because when you fall in love, all your attachment patterns port right over from your parents onto your romantic partner. So you think they're your wife or your husband, but your nervous system treats them as if they're the person who's supposed to give you safety and soothing.
Yeah.
So you reach out trying to get safety and soothing. And I have compassion and empathy for the little child in all of us. It's like, but my parents never gave me that safety and soothing when I was young. Isn't anyone ever going to give it? And the answer is yes, someone is. And it has to be your adult self that then takes hold of your younger self and becomes an internal attachment figure to your younger self.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Which takes the burden off your romantic partner. But most people in romance do not even know that they're burdening their partner. They're needing their partner to do something for them to feel better. And that if they don't learn how to do that for their own younger self, they're not going to be a very solid parent for their kid. So the fact that their partner can't or won't regulate them is actually by design. Because if they did, then you'd never learn to do it on your own. And then when you're losing your shit in the middle of Times Square one day, your partner's not around, you can't hand your baby to a stranger and go, can you help them stop crying? Because I don't know what to do. Yeah. You have to be the buck that stops me. You have to be the one that goes, well, I need to create safety in my body so this baby can feel safe in my arms. And no baby's going to feel safe in the arms of someone who's dysregulated.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So it all rolls down to how do we, the whole job of being in love is, from evolutionary standpoint, is how do I become a parent to create a child, which is an immortality capsule into the future, right? To survive.
And it's an inside job. It's always, always, always an inside job.
Absolutely. Safety's an inside job. Love's an inside job. I mean,
it's funny you say that because when I first heard, there's a theory. I would love your thoughts on it. Tony Robbins is one of my mentors. He's been amazing in my life, and he says this, that men need, number one need for them is freedom, and the number one need for women is safety. And as a woman sitting there listening, this was news to me. I had never even thought about it, and I think it was because my journey in life was so well, it was a little dramatic, and I had to run for my life with my two boys and hide for years and years and years. And so I had to create my own safety as a single mom with two boys alone in a foreign country. It never occurred to me that anyone else would do it because it was my job to do it.
And there was no one there to even help.
Yeah. But then when I listen now, I hear a lot of people say, I feel safe with them. And, yeah, but we can't get it from the outside. Whatever comes from the outside is an overflow of what's already on the inside. Would you agree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think as a young child, it's really important for parents to realize that a child doesn't know how to regulate their nervous system. A child is born unable to regulate their own nervous system. And so they need the entrainment with the mother's body or whoever the caregiver is. Like literally when a baby's in a belly, the nervous system of the mother rewires into a two-headed dyadic entity. Ooh. And so when the baby's born, it's still entrained in the mother's nervous system. So if the baby's, it tunes into the mom, even though it's separate. And if the mom is, then the baby learns, oh, I can. So it learns how to self-soothe over time by how well the mom self-soothes.
Yeah.
So actually, internal regulation, self-regulation, is internalized co-regulation. So it learns from some attachment figure.
Mm.
Some of us have never had anyone hold safe space for us until we meet a coach or a therapist who finally just says, hey, whatever's happening right now is welcome. And all these thoughts and feelings are safe with me. And then sometimes I'm the person in a client session that is the reference experience. First time in their life of, hey, it's okay for you to have whatever experience right now. I'm holding a safe space for you. And once they get that reference experience, either in real time with a coach or a therapist or friend, or in an imagination experience, you can imagine it.
Yeah.
Need a reference experience to then go, oh, other held space for my little one. And then you can internalize an adult inside your own mind. I think of grown-up Annie holding little Annie, and
Yes.
I am regulating my little young self, but I'm using every time an adult I've ever known has held space for me, and I'm combining them all together, and I'm doing that for my little one. And when I have done that to my little one, I become a certain level of adult on the outside that then is more useful to my daughter or my husband or my client or anyone else. And when you said what's the definition of an adult, it's someone who's able to take radical responsibility for generating safety in their body without needing anyone else to do anything. That's to me adulthood. And it's no small task. I've been practicing for 16 years consciously, and I get adulting right probably 40 to 60% on my best days.
Yeah. We're glorious and messy, aren't we?
And so it's a life's work. We're all in the process together.
Absolutely. But there's so much programming out there that makes us think that we don't have to take responsibility. Like this whole even phrase of he's my other half or my better half.
Yeah. Well, the idea that you have two halves and that you're not whole unto yourself is problematic. I know there's some sort of poetic romance in it, but I think it's a dangerous idea.
Yep.
But I do want to double back on something you just said about Tony Robbins saying freedom and safety. Men want freedom and women want safety. And I like the distinction. It's a good meme.
Yeah.
Underneath freedom, the reason a man wants freedom is he doesn't feel safe without it. So as far as I can see, in Maslow's hierarchy, there's food, safety, and belonging. Okay. Safety, as soon as your belly's full, safety. It doesn't say food, freedom, and belonging. So safety is really at the root of anyone having a ruffled nervous system. With women, it's very clear it's safety. Okay. Yeah. And I think I just want us to know, because we're all loving men in our lives, that they want safety too. And you want to start looking at what does the man in your life feel, what makes them feel safe. It may be the word freedom. It might be something else. And I tend to try and stay away from linking anything to gender, women and men. So what I like to say is there's usually one partner that wants communal togetherness, us, feels safe, and one that wants agency, autonomy, sovereignty. Remember I said the two sacred polarities of self and other, or me and we. And so those are instead of male and female, it's the me and the we that comes together to cross-train. And usually the me person tends to match the more what you call anxious attachment. I don't like that term because who wants to be an attachment style called anxious? But everybody wants to be the sacred guardian of either me or we. So, but the we guarding person tends to be more anxious. So they are afraid of abandonment. So they glom and fuse and want to connect when they're stressed or scared in a conflict. Whereas the me-oriented person, when they're in a conflict or tension, they want separateness, autonomy, agency. They are afraid of engulfment, not abandonment. And it's hard to believe to an anxious person or a we person. I used to chase my husband around the house when I wanted to resolve a conflict. And he'd literally run out the door and get into a car. And I realized one day, wait a minute, the feeling that I have when he leaves in the middle of a conflict, the unsafety in my body, that's the exact same unsafety he feels when I'm running around chasing him, trying to resolve the conflict. So it's counterintuitive to think that the thing that makes you safe in a conflict actually terrorizes your partner, and that they're feeling the same fear that you feel when they do the thing called take space or try to talk it out.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for everyone to track, which do you tend to be a guardian of, the me or the we? And it can flip back and forth in different domains.
Mm-hmm.
But wherever you are, so because I was the more we guardian, over the last 15, 16 years of training with my husband's relationship, I have learned that when we're in a conflict, I need to not need him to talk it through. I need to go take space and take some breaths and take a walk and not need him to regulate me. What he's had to learn is how to stay in the conversation 1 minute longer, 2 minutes longer, without having to leave to go regulate. So we have to cross train. So I have to do the thing that he does, which is leave. I have to practice that muscle. So I have one muscle really strong. Like I got to stay in and talk. And the muscle of be autonomous and go take care of myself is small. He has the muscle called I can take care of myself on my own, but he doesn't have the capacity to regulate while in connection. So I have to learn how to regulate on my own, and he has to learn how to regulate in communion. And as we've cross-trained over the years, I'm better at, what I wasn't good at. And so our fights take less time. I have more range of tolerance. Like I can handle whether he can talk or not talk.
Yeah.
He can handle whether I need a hug or not need a hug. Like we've cross-trained. And so this is the skill for helping conflicts resolve faster, which is kind of my specialty. We can talk about conflict resolution if you want. There's a whole portfolio of tools there.
I would love to, but we're like already out of time.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I'll have to have you back, girl.
Definitely.
This has been so helpful, so amazing. Those of you at home that can communicate with us in the chat, please do. Would love your thoughts and what your takeaways from today. And Annie, tell us about the gift you have for the audience.
Okay, remind me which one I gave you.
It's right there on the screen. Can you see it? AnnieLalla.com/gift.
Okay. The gift is
here. Let me see.
There's so many gifts that
I get it. Hold on. New How to Be in Love. That's a course you're doing coming up, right?
Yes. That's
okay. And the gift is free course online. That's what it says here in what you sent me.
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys a gift of one of my programs, and
How to Be in Love is what I think it is.
Yeah, it's going to be the art of fighting. I think that since we didn't get to cover that today, that would be the best gift. That's actually a $300 course that's online that you could buy right now, but I'm going to give it to your tribe for free. And in it, you'll learn all about what a fight is, how to de-escalate a fight, what to do when your partner's shaming or blaming you. Like literally, that's my specialty. I'm a conflict resolution specialty. So you're going to get the art of fighting, and that's with your family members, your partner, anyone. It's how to resolve conflict and actually turn a conflict into a collaboration, because a conflict is a collaboration trying to happen.
Ooh, a conflict is a collaboration trying to happen.
Right.
Ooh, I love it. Yes.
We'll make sure everybody gets access to that course.
Amazing. There it is. Annie Lalla, AnnieLalla.com/gift. Go there and get your free gift and learn how to have conflict resolution, and therefore more joy, more freedom, more fun. Yes.
Yeah. Collaboration is how you get joy and intimacy and fun. And once you realize that conflict is a collaboration, if you know how to spin it, then you can definitely create more smoothness and synchrony in your partnership.
Woo, amazing. Woo. Thank you, Annie. I definitely want you back on the show. You're such a master at this. And the amount of nuggets that were falling, I couldn't even keep up. So I'm going to watch this back myself and take some more notes. So great. I'm going to have you on at the end for your golden nugget. But right now it's mantra magic time. We'll see you. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much. All right. Mantra Magic is the time and part of the show where we have a little mantra. This is Alina Avadiano and I. your mantra for the week. And this helps reprogram the mind. We often say things that are not helpful, like I'm not enough, or I'm too slow, or I'm too whatever. And this is a new mantra that you can use to reprogram your mind for this week. Here it is. My aura is magnetic, attracting people, places, conversations, opportunities. My aura is magnetic, attracting people, places, conversations, opportunities. Love flows with me, love flows through me, all for the highest good. My aura is magnetic, attracting people, places, conversations, opportunities. My aura is magnetic, attracting people, places, conversations, opportunities. Make the day glorious! Mwah! Now it's time for meditation moment. Grab the family, everybody around, have a seat. Hurry, it's time. Okay, so this is where we take 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes to get present to this beautiful right here, right now. Completely changes your life, the ability to get present. So grab whoever you need to grab, have a seat in whatever position you want. A straight spine is helpful, but whatever you do is going to be better than doing nothing. So this is your chance to have 5 minutes. I call it 5 minutes to bliss. We're going to listen to Gary Malkin's music. He's a multi-Emmy winner, and he's shared this with us. So take a deep breath in. Let that belly come out. And exhale. Make your exhale longer than your inhale. Take another deep breath in. Let that belly come out. And exhale. Pull your belly in. Nice. This is called the Serene Mind Practice. I learned it from my beautiful teachers from India that I was just with. We did this a few times a day. So I want you just to notice right now your breath. Notice how it feels entering and leaving your nostrils. Just notice and breathe. Now I want you to notice, how are you feeling right now? Are you in a suffering state or a beautiful state? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And breathe. Now I want you to notice what thoughts are floating through your head. Are they thoughts of the past? Or are they more thoughts of the future? Or are you right here, right now? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And breathe. Now I want you to notice a flame flickering right in front of your eyes. Notice the yellows, the whites, the reds, the oranges. And slowly slide that flame right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. And with your hands on your heart, thinking about one thing you are so grateful for, that brings a smile to your face. While you're doing that, I'll be sending you an energetic activation. This is called a Diksha. Just know that it's sent with so much love. All you have to do is set the intention to receive. Taking a deep breath in. And exhaling. Slowly start blinking your eyes. Coming back to the right here, right now. Moving your fingers and toes a little bit. Well done, well done. Called the Serene Mind Practice. You can go on YouTube and see it there, or you can watch it here every week on Get Your Shit Together. All right, I'm going to bring the amazing Annie back. Here she is. How is that for you, love? Oh, we can't hear you, honey. Interesting. Can you? It says it's not muted. Huh. Well, Mercury is in retrograde. Can you hear me? Okay. Huh. Maybe come back in and out, Annie. There we go. She'll be back here in a second. Those of you at home that can interact on YouTube or on Facebook, would love to hear your comments on Serene Mind Practice and on what Annie Lalla had to tell us today. What were your main takeaways for you today in your relationships as you think about them and as you honor them? Here we go. Let's try again.
How about now?
Amazing. It worked. Woohoo. Awesome. So we have 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Well, no, we have 2 minutes. So I want to know your golden nugget, Annie. If you're on a mountaintop and you had 8 billion people at the foot of the mountain listening and paying attention, and you had just one thing to share with them, what would that be?
I would say that there is no circumstance where it is more useful, more effective to close your heart than to have your heart open. And whether you have to say no to someone or defend your family, even if you had to take someone's life in some spiritual, sacred moment, you're still going to do it better with an open heart. So there is no circumstance that you could ever find yourself in where you're going to do better with a closed heart. So in other words, there's no circumstance under which it's always advised to see what can you do? What can you do with your imagination, your thoughts, your somatic awareness? What can you do with your resourcefulness to keep your heart open just 1 second longer before it wants to close? 2 seconds longer. That is your life's practice. That's the athletic program of being a human being. Do your reps.
Do your reps. I love it. Absolutely. Do your reps. So let's do our reps. We get our shit together right here on the show. So everyone at home, take a deep breath in. But this time I want you to breathe right into your heart. Breathe right into your heart. Take a deep breath in now. Put your shoulders back. Open that chest up. Smile. And then exhale. Again, breathe into your heart. Smiling and exhale. Thank you, Annie. I adore you. I'm so grateful to live on this planet at this time with you. Thank you for who you be and what you do here on this beautiful Earth School, this glorious planet that we call home. Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you, sweetheart.
All right. We'll see you next time. Remember that together we vibrate higher. And that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Mwah! Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.